what not to do after you've completed your $3,000 to $10,000 high ticket sales training program. Do not rely on a sales recruiter to find you a sales opportunity. So as weeks are going on, you're networking, right? You're replying to and responding to sales recruiters and their sales opportunities within these Facebook groups. Do not rely on them. Do not rely on one sales recruiter just because you're working with Cole Gordon Coaching Sales, Sales Connection, and these other recruiting agencies, right? Don't think that's it. It's done. Like your foot's in the door, you're good to go. The sales recruiter is going to be looking for a sales opportunity specifically for you. Again, be mindful that you're not the only sales rep or SDR that's in their pipeline. Just imagine every opportunity post that they post in a Facebook group, they got 25 to 100 new prospects. So if you're solely relying on them, you're excited because you landed an interview with them. It's not really an interview that you landed, with that sales recruiter. They're just qualifying you to see where you fit in. Hey, are you an A tier player, B, C, or D tier, or are you completely new? Like, hey, are you qualified for a closing role? Are you qualified for an SDR role? Where do you fit in? Okay, the next step is fill out our application, submit your 90-second intro video. Okay, great. Now you're into our system. Then they forget about you. So if you think by interviewing with a sales recruiter, it's like, hey, you're well on your way, like that's like so far from the truth and the reality of how this space works. So if you are relying on them, if you are leveraging them, you're going to lose. You're not going to make it because, it puts you in a mindset like, hey, I'm good. Like he's looking for me, right? No, like, do we leverage them? Hell yes, we've got to, we must. We've got to leverage every pipeline that we have access to. But it's a dangerous game to play because, again, when you rely on a sales recruiter, just think like, where are you at when it comes to your generated revenue and your experience within sales? If you are new, you're low man on the totem pole, because now you just think about all the people that have generated 100,000 to 5, 7, $800,000 that are ahead of you, right? You're low man on the totem pole. So that's what I'm saying. We should never stop networking and building our own personal pipelines and networks. Yes, they're great to leverage, but you never want to rely on a sales recruiter's timeline because they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about who the best fit, and every time they're looking for someone to place, all they do is they go to their database. It's not like you're top of mind by any stretch. They go to their database, and then they're looking for people, that are closers or SDRs, and they reach out that way. So I mean, again, if you're the low man on the totem pole, and just think about all the new prospects and candidates that they're adding to their pipeline on a daily and weekly basis. Every day that goes on, you're just being pushed further and further down the road. And so just think about that when it comes to how we're doing our outreach and just becoming self-sufficient. Like that's one of the things that I really want to emphasize here is becoming self-sufficient, not relying on anybody else. We rely on our own personal efforts, but leveraging other pipelines. Right? So how do we create more conversations? How do we connect with more people? How do we network? How do we get our network and our pipelines to work for us, to send us opportunities? Like it's all part of the process. But working with the recruiter, yes, like even when it comes to, even if they do introduce you to a sales opportunity, that interview or the onboarding process could take anywhere from 1 week to 3 weeks to a month. Right. And then you got to go through the 30-day probationary period. Now that's 2 months, right? Now it's, hey, did you make it past? Did that business owner keep you, or did they, say, hey, you weren't a good fit, or you didn't perform, and basically send you packing, and now you're back on the pipeline. And we can't just keep continuously rely on a sales recruiter to find us a job, because now we're just we're relying on them or waiting for them. Like our sales journey is in their hands, not our own. So super important. You can't just rely on one sales recruiter. We need to we need to rely and leverage all sales recruiters, all the other different pipelines to our advantage.